and welcome back to my blog. This is Nicole D'Angelo from Nicole's Video Blog. I have been out of the hospital for a week and a day now, and a girl for 2 weeks and 1 day. And I know I did some videos from the hospital, but it's really been until now when I've had the opportunity, the well-being enough to sit down in front of the camera and do a short video. There's a lot of noise going on out here. There's something down there, like air conditioning going off. I'm in a northwest suburb of Chicago called Cary, at my best friend's house, Sarah, who's been amazing at taking care of me. So this is where I'm going to start. I want to start before the surgery. And I want to go back to SEC of last year, Southern Comfort Conference. On September 8th, I met Sarah. And it's also the day that it became known that I was trans, and I started that battle with my ex-wife for the children, which generally wasn't a battle. It was just two people trying to take care of the best interest of the children. At that point, I didn't have this covered by insurance, didn't know if I'd ever be able to come up with the money for SRS, so I was looking at myself as a potentially forever pre-op TS. November hit, and as November came closer and closer and November hit, it became more and more likely, apparent, that Apple was going to start offering gender identity disorder. And by the end of November, I had changed my medical plan because they were offering it. So my whole world changed all at once, from when I got outed to my ex to on was just like this roller coaster ride through the whole transition. And I wasn't forced down this road. I wasn't led down this road. I walked this road on my own cognizance of my own thoughts. I wanted to be here. So at this particular time, in November, I started saying, oh yeah, well now I definitely want to have surgery. So I started talking to Sarah, who had a very good friend named Anya Gressel, who had interviewed a gentleman named Loren Schechter at SEC last year. And she had done some research and found that this guy is amazing at SRS. So I'm going to tell you my thought process in choosing my surgeon and how it went. Everybody, this is not a my surgeon is better than your surgeon video. This is how I picked my surgeon. We all have different wants and likes and dislikes. What I liked about this gentleman is that he is a microvascular surgeon and a plastic surgeon. He doesn't just focus on SRS. He focuses on everything. And he has a wide range of people in his office. So when you're looking at it, he's got three other associates that are helping him out. In fact, one of them assisted on my surgery. So when you look him up, you don't see a lot for gender surgery. You see a lot for everything else. And that concerned me at first. But on January 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, whatever it was, I was in Chicago seeing my then-girlfriend, Ingrid, and had my first visit with Loren Schechter. And it went amazingly well. And thus started the wonderful time I had of trying to figure out how I was covered. I was covered for the operation and electrolysis of the area and breast augmentation, but there was no guide to how to get that done. So I was in Chicago 3 times before the surgery. So January, March, and June, and all 3 times I got to talk to Dr. Schechter, not to mention countless phone calls, emails, and texts. And what I liked about him is he has this passion for his job, but he also has a huge passion for his patient. And whenever I asked him a question, I immediately got an answer, or as soon as he was out of surgery, got an answer. And that impressed the hell out of me. He really, really, really is a very kind and considerate man. So that leads me up to June, when I saw him for the last time. And we started going into all the different options. And I fell off the wagon for a little bit and actually started thinking about going colon graft instead of penile inversion. And eventually, through help of friends like Donna Rose and Lisa Sheps, got led back on to the right path. So, in August 9th, we drove from Atlanta to here. 10th, I hung out, and the 11th, I had my bowel prep. Let me tell you, girls, Your doctor might not exactly order you the one that has a flavor, but when you get that Go Lightly, you can mix it with things, and I didn't. It just tastes like you're drinking seawater. So bowel prep was fun, but it's not as bad as people make it sound. Drinking the crap was more painful than going to the bathroom, and when it's over, it's over. So I was very oddly calm driving to the hospital. A tiny bit anxious when we had to sit outside for 45 minutes because we got there early. But once I got inside, it seemed like everything just rolled right along. I got led into what they call same-day surgery, got put into my pre-op room, got put into my gown and my hat and my feet, and put my hair up, talked to people I wanted to talk to for the last time, had a picture with Sarah. The doctor came in, marked up my breasts and everything, talked to me, and next thing I know, I'm wheeling into the OR, and last thing I remember at 7:35, I think it was the anesthesiologist, because I'm looking up at the time going, all right, I wonder if this is the last time I'm going to remember. And she goes, how do you pronounce the name Nikki? And I said, Nikki. And she said, oh, that's cool. I thought your name was Nicole. I said, yes, it's a nickname. And nickname was the last thing I said. So I woke up at 10:30 at night, looking like all groggy, trying to open my eyes, looking up at the clock, and I said, where the hell did that day go? And the nurse was right behind me, and I didn't sense her or see her, and she goes, well, honey, it takes a while to make a girl out of a boy. And then I looked down like this, and at that point my chest is all pushed up here, because they're going to take whatever pocket it could find, and I looked down and I go, that's all I got? And I was out, and they wheeled me in my room. Next day, doctor came by, Sarah came by, and I heard the whole gamut of things. Here is why I picked my surgeon, okay? Because he just doesn't do SRS and he does everything, he learns a lot of different techniques. But because he has a passion for doing this particular operation, he flies to different places and talks to people. Top female-to-male surgeon in the world is in Serbia, and he was there talking to this gentleman who is an FTM themselves a month ago. From what I understand with him, top male-to-female surgeon is in the Netherlands and was there talking to that person. And I think that's where he picked up the technique that he used on me. Now, in my consultations, all three of them, he was insistent that he was going to have to use a graft, which is why I was starting going towards the colon graft instead of just cutting a piece of skin out of it. But in the time that we talked last June, and the time that I went and had my operation, August, he had developed this new technique that other people were using and decided that on me he was going to do a tummy tuck, thus lifting all the skin from here down to my groin, up off the flesh, pulling it down, and using it to create the vagina. And while there's a lot more soreness in that area, I've got a beautiful part now, and I'm very happy with him. Aftercare with him so far has been amazing. He answers questions, gives me time, just doesn't run in and out. If he's in surgery, he sends one of his associates that have equal knowledge of what's going on. And he works as a team with Randy Ettner, Fred Ettner, and him, Loren Schechter. So I saw Randy within 2 days after surgery, talking about my mental well-being. I saw Fred every day after surgery. And I was very impressed with these people and the way that they cared for me. So all in all, my surgical experience has been great. So let's talk about the things that people worry about. Let's talk about the recuperation and the waking up part. When I woke up after surgery, everything hurt, period. And when I mean everything, I have a bruise on my back from where they put a pad to keep me from bruising. It bruised me. I have a problem with my leg where, since the stirrups weren't big enough, it clipped my leg and pinched my nerve, and I still have a little bit of numbness in my foot and my right foot. And I had a pressure wound on my head from it being on the table for so long. So why was I on the table so long? Very simply. He's an awesome surgeon. He's very particular in the way things look. Perfectionists say. Again, another reason I picked him. I didn't want someone that was doing 2 SRSs a day. I wanted someone that was doing an SRS today, and I was that person, and he would take as long as he could. So I had 2 hours on my breasts, 2 hours to move my body into position for SRS, and 7.5 to 8 hours on my SRS. Because of the way he did it. I'm happy as a clam. So everything hurt when I woke up. They turned on that morphine button as soon as I got in the room, and I hit it few times that night, and a lot the next day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But it really wasn't the pain down there. These hurt a lot more than down there, and even today I could say that the uncomfortableness of having these implants right now is more so than the uncomfortableness of downstairs. I could get somewhat situated on my lovely donut over here, but you know, it's just where I'm at. So I'm at a point where I came off of the morphine and I started going on Norco. Once you start going on Norco, which is one step down from Vicodin, it's important that you take your stool softener. Oh my God, that stuff binds you up and you just don't go. So I had the operation on the 12th. The 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, and I think the 17th was the Wednesday. I was in bed flat on my back and uncomfortable as hell, doing a lot of these, trying to make movements, but I couldn't move because instead of packing you with gauze and stuff, with packing, he packs you with a 6 to 8 inch dilator that is pressure bandaged up inside you. And it makes movement very difficult, but it keeps that opening done. So I got unveiled, and he and Fred Ettner were there, and I got unveiled like 7:15 on the Wednesday morning, and those guys are talking to me, and at the same time, Dr. Schechter's just dilating me 3 or 4 times, and then had me do it. So in the first hour and a half after being unveiled, I dilated 5 times. Now, his schedule is more aggressive than most surgeons I've read about. He wants me to dilate as often as possible for the first 6 weeks. And what that means is more than 5 times. If I could do 10, that's great. If I do 7, that's great, but more than 5 times. And the explanation of that is, think of an earring. When you have your ears pierced, you need to keep something in there to keep the form, to keep the opening, right? So the more you have something down there, the more it's going to stay open. So here's how that helps me. When you get your dilators, you get 3, a small, a medium, and a large. I've only looked at one dilator, the large, and I've only hit one mark, the last mark, the 5th or 6th dot, whatever it is. So I've got 6 inches of depth, and I haven't had to work at keeping it. So dilation was strangely not uncomfortable at all. Dilation was strangely not painful at all. It just seemed to just slide in and out. Today, it's sore, because the soreness from being off all the narcotics and painkillers is there. So what I'm going to tell you is that, you know, those first few days in bed, uncomfortable. The next couple of days that you're walking around, it's a little bit painful because you're moving things that haven't moved in 5 days and moving in a way that everything is so blown up. You're like, oh God, it hurts. But it goes away quick. So Friday I got discharged, and I got here to Sarah's wonderful, humble home, and I started on my stint of being a good girl at dilation, and dilated like 10 times the first day, and I've done it at least 8 times every day since. So Friday and Saturday I just stayed around. Sunday, Sarah had a picnic to go to, so I went with her, and although I wasn't walking around, there was a chaise lounge that I laid flat on, and people came and talked to me. I was out. Monday I went back to being a good girl on Tuesday, and Wednesday I had a concert I went to. All this time, the most discomfort I found was not from the wounds or from the breast implants, but from my leg, my back, and my head, which were all injured from being on the table so long. So here we go. I've got my nails done. I went out to lunch yesterday. I've been making short stints out every day. And things are just getting better and better every day. So where am I at now? I'm in a place where I am extremely happy. Everything seems to be going wonderfully for me. And I have a checkup, which I forgot to tell you, I had a checkup on Wednesday, and the checkup went extremely well. I had my first internal. That was scary, but it didn't hurt at all. And just a little bit of conversation, I go back in 2 weeks. So from here, it's just healing. It's a lot of laying flat on my back, very little being upright, and when I am upright, walking around. Me and my donut are best friends because I can't sit on anything without it. That's pretty much where I'm at. So, I've given you a brief rundown in my wonderful 2 weeks of being a girl. 2 weeks and 1 day. So YouTube, thank you for tuning in, for watching. I appreciate it. And thank you all for supporting me so well. I promise you I'll keep these up. And maybe, just maybe, some of you will let me interview you or talk to you about your, where you are. Maybe that's a way to take this. Like, you've seen mine. Now let's see what other people have. Okay, I love you, YouTube. You have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.